at its finest. 8-7 offsuit. This time for 𝐴𝐿. Opens. Paulie V defending. And flopping top pair against second pair. Happy to check over. Expecting a high frequency c-bet. 𝐴𝐿 chooses to check back here, Rast, even though he hits the board.
Yeah, it's a curious board to check back, given that he's the chip leader. Now, his range is slightly wide, but, I mean, he can still bet that quite a bit versus the big blind. There's a lot of clearance that a pair of 8s can enjoy from getting overcards to fold. So it was a curious check back. And this is kind of a fun turn spot where, theoretically, under chip EV circumstances, Paulie V could check raise here, given the flop went check, and on the turn, 𝐴𝐿 has bet so small. But again, with ICM, you just don't see these spots where you're building big pots with kind of like marginally good value hands. And, you know, Paulie V doesn't check raise here, even though he's very confident he has the best hand.
Just keeping things as tidy as 𝐴𝐿 will allow him to is Paulie V. Pot at 1.65 now. 4-liner after the deuce rolls off. Not sure how much 4x is there, but to be fair, if there is a 4 involved in the equation right now, it would rate to be in 𝐴𝐿's hand, just given the breadth of opening hands that he's going to have, right?
It's close. I mean, Paulie's in the big blind, and he will, well, not as wide as normal because he's not defending super wide with ICM. He will have some king 4 suited, queen 4 suited, jack 4 suited stuff for sure. Ace 4 off.
And the gap between the short stack of Patrick Antonius and 𝐴𝐿 is just 15 bigs, as we see Paulie V looking down at a couple of kings. The deck continuing to run rich with big pairs. Come and get it is the thought on Paulie V's mind, and might Marius, with 2 6s, do just that?
Looks like he started this pot with about 12 big blinds, right? He has 3.2 plus the 300, not counting the ante. So will he reshove or just call and defend? Wow, he's reshoving, and yet again 6s runs into the goods in this same type of spot.
Yikes.
You need help.
Antonius loves to see it as the short stack, as he's poised for a 67K pay jump.
Yeah, it's
Lithuanian cannibalism here at this final table. 7.5 million chip pot. No 6 on board. Spade coverage for Paulie V. Can Marius pick up a straight draw? No. And he's left with just 2 outs once. Not there. As it's his turn to wrap the rail.
They can still do unpredictable things, even though the rules are a bit more clearly defined. There's just more overall ICM pressure in the case where the 2 shorter stacks are even. And you just have to take that.
Well, look at this. Paulie V taking queen 9 suited and jamming into Mokri, who with ace 8 has made the call. We're going to play for 10.5 milli.
𝐿𝐿 deserves it.
Who do you think Kulev's rooting for, Rast?
It's a tough one. Think about that for a minute.
Oh, look at this board. Paulie V open-ended with a flush draw against the ace high.
He's a 2-to-1 favorite. Look at this. That's wild.
Yeah. Oh, and now he's drawn dead as the 8 pairs Mokri, but gives Paulie V the straight.
Oh, I figured it out. That wasn't who 𝐿𝐽 was rooting for. I got it.
What gave it away?
I wasn't sure, but then I saw the look on 𝐿𝐽's face and
Right.
used my live reads.
Dead giveaway.
Well, card distributions like this is one of the ways you overcome this kind of chip deficit.
Ace King opening.
2.7.
Oh, and Mokri
Just hand number 1.
just 3-betting and choosing some violence here. To 2.7 we go. Of course, Paulie V can just absolutely pile it in, right?
Yeah, he just has the goods here firsthand. So happy his opponent 3-bet.
Rolling.
Unhappy, of course, is Mokri to hear those 2 words. And this is a delightful start, automatically changing things significantly.
Check.
Mokri keeps it tidy with a check back. Eight-six deuce, flops himself top pair, more than we can say for this ace high.
Doesn't lead at the board. Definitely could have with top pair.
And now some chips that could have been deployed in the form of a pre-flop min raise get sent forward in position on the flop.
Mokri's hand is good enough to check raise here. See if he decides to play the hand that way, especially versus only betting third pot. Yeah. And this check raise, beyond just pushing equity versus smaller pairs, is also designed to try to clear out overcards. Ace-jack off with a diamond might be good enough and kind of clean and separated enough from the board that Paulie peels, and he does. So now this pot's ballooned up to 5 million. An interesting turn card in that it kind of improves both players' hands. Mokri now has 2 pair, and Paulie V, while it's kind of be hard for him to find many hands where he has the best hand anymore, with ace high, he does pick up a flush draw.
Are there a decent number of suited combos that would limp button and then bet the flush draw on the flop, call the check raise over here that Mokri needs to be concerned about, as we see him not demonstrating any concern, betting 1.7?
Certainly. Yeah. Paulius can definitely have flushes. And Mokri is going to be concerned about that. But, I mean, you know, he also has 2 pair heads up, so.
And for Paulie V, he's now invested a significant amount into this one, but what he hasn't done is make the best hand on the end, which would have required a 4th diamond on board. 8.4 in the middle. And is Mokri going to hunt more value on the end?
Well, it's an interesting if he does value bet, because Paulius, he can't really bluff catch with his hand. I mean, that 7 of diamonds just not only make, you know, you're already losing to any pair plus, but kind of almost all the straight draws or flush draws improved in some way, either making a flush, a straight, or a pair. So, I mean, you can come out with some hands you're beating, such as like 3-4, but there aren't very many of them. So,
All in.
yeah.
Jamming is Mokri, and of course, the ace-jack shrivels, as does the stack. Six, 3, and 5-4 this time around.
There's 2 hands that interact with each other pretty closely. Definitely get some flops that hit them both.
Treading fairly lightly pre-flop ever since that first hand, and uh-oh. We've got 6s and 3s for Mokri, but middle pair and an open-ender for Paulie V. They've managed to avoid bloodshed in spots where it was available thus far. I don't know if this will be one of them, as we see Paulie V in position, firing. Mokri not going anywhere.
No, he's probably check raising. I mean, 2-pair here. And Paulie has too big of a hand to fold versus a check raise.
As prophesized, in comes 2.2, 4.5x.
I mean, the question is, Paulie, are we ever folding to anything on the turn? If not,
Calling.
maybe we just raise here in order to get some weird goofball hands that have equity versus us, like
Tip pair?
Jack 7 to fold.
Fair.
The jam to 9.6. Let's call it 10 million. Snapped by Mokri, a 20.7 million chip pot. The turn
I have.
is a safe
well
one.
then.
Mokri has diamond coverage, and now Paulie V needs a deuce, 5, or a 7 to keep this one going, and he doesn't find it as Mokri's 2-pair turns into a diamond.